I welcome you all for the wireless communication lecture module. In this lecture, we are going to discuss about a beamforming. Okay, so beamforming is the process of sending an electromagnetic wave in a required direction instead of transmitting in all the directions. So, for example, consider a scenario: we have a mobile base station, okay, which is going to transmit power to the all the number of users which are in the same cell. So consider a scenario: we have a base station. In that base station, we have a only one user at that particular time. Okay, so now instead of transmitting power, transmitting signal into all the direction, here the base station can be adjusted and it can transmit power only to that particular user alone. By that, the entire power of the signal can be reached at the particular user, so that the efficient power transmission has been applied with the help of a beamforming technique. So it is a process of transmitting electromagnetic wave in a required directions instead of all the other directions. So for transmitting information in a required directions, the transmitting end has to scan the particular area to require the information in prior. So by scanning the particular area or cell, it can able to identify where the number of users are available. So by adjusting the phase shifter and attenuator, this will be at the transmitting end. By adjusting the phase of the signal as well as attenuation of the signal, we can create a constructive interference, so that the signal can reaches only to that user end alone, so the remaining area will not reach as the signal. So this is the concept of a beamforming. So normally at the transmitting end, we have a transmitting antenna. Normally the transmitting antenna will have a certain radiation pattern. Okay, so the radiation pattern is nothing but the direction of the electromagnetic wave. Okay, simply we can say that the direction of electromagnetic wave where the power has been radiated. So by adjusting the phase shifter and attenuator, we can adjust the major lobe of the radiation pattern. So that concept is called as a beamforming. Okay, so why we need to go for beamforming? Beamforming for the effective utilization of a power to transmit the power in a required direction, and then to use the maximum data rate, that is the signal strength in a required direction. And by using the beamforming, the call drops will also get low, because when the user in a moving, so if you are adjusting the beam according to the user, obviously the signal strength will keep maintaining, so the call drops will be reduced. So with the help of adjusting the major lobe of the radiation pattern, with the help of phase shifter and attenuator, we can focus the signal strength to the desired direction. That concept is called as a beam forming. So there are two types of beam forming. One is a conventional beam forming, and second one is a adaptive beam forming. So in the conventional beam forming, so the fixed set of waitings and time delays has been set in the transmitting end. Okay, so with the help of prior information at the location, we will adjust the fixed set of weights and time delays. By adjusting the phase, we can able to transmit to the particular direction. This is the conventional case, the when the user is in a fixed place. Okay, then if the user is keep on moving, then we should scan the information. The transmitter has to scan the information periodically to have an update about the user location. Okay, then by adjusting the phase and the attenuator, we can able to transmit into the particular direction. That beamforming is called as a adaptive beamforming. Okay. Again, the beamforming can be classified into one more type, but that is called as analog beamforming in a digital beamforming. And it is nothing but the pre-coding is done after the amplification. The pre-coding is done at the final stage before transmitting into the antenna. Then that beamforming is called as a analog beamforming. If the beamform pre-coding done at the earlier stage, after the pre-coding we'll do some processes, and then finally we are transmitting the information, then it is called as a digital beamforming. Okay, so after processing, okay, then we done the pre-coding, means then that is called as analog pre-coding. Once the pre-coding has done, after we are doing some certain process in the form of digital signal, and finally it has been transmitted, that thing, that beamforming is called as a digital beamforming. So either way, the beamforming is used to focus on the user to radiate the maximum power in the required direction. That is called as the concept of a beam.